So now we're going to talk about the pretty much most important thing that we're going to be covering this year in calculus, which is limits, okay? And I kind of made a little drawing right here where it says all the math you've ever learned so far, okay? When you integrate limits to that in certain ways, that's what leads us to calculus. So if you don't have any limits, you don't have any calculus. And that's kind of what separates calculus from the math that you've learned before, okay? You need these limits to kind of bridge the two. We're going to go over more what limits are right now. Okay, so math is a language. It's the universal language, and it's written in certain ways so that certain people can understand what you're writing. So this right here is going to be limit notation. Okay, this is how you have to write limits. You have to do LIM, which stands for limit. Here it says f of x. You're not really gonna see f of x there too much. This is just a bare bones example, but you're actually gonna see a real function in there, whether it's x squared plus 2 or x plus 1 or you name it. An actual function will go here, okay? Then you see right here where it's an x and then there's an arrow to the c. And what this translates to is x gets closer, infinitesimally closer to c, okay? C is usually going to be a number or 0 or infinity. That's going to be put in here, okay? L just means limit, okay? You're not usually going to see this bare bones. This is just a general example of it. You'll see an actual function in for f of x. You'll see a number or infinity in here for the C, and then for the L, that's what you'll be actually calculating, okay? So those three things will be filled in with something different. Again, this is just a general. The limit and the x will be there though in the arrow. Okay, now how do you read this? Make sure you understand how to read this. Like I said, math is a language. Let's translate this to English. The limit of f of x, so the limit of f of x as x gets infinitesimally closer to c. So it's getting closer and closer to c, but it's never reaching c. So it's getting infinitesimally closer to it, but it will never actually reach c. That's how you translate this math to English. You might want to practice that a little bit, just so when we're speaking this language in class, everyone kind of understands. Okay? I can give you examples of functions. You can create examples of functions yourself. Okay? But what I want you to start thinking about now is, how can you use this? I just gave you the minimum. This is just the minimum here for understanding limits. How can you use this to figure out the limit of a certain function? Okay? You know, you have to get infinitesimally closer to this. Infinitesimally closer to some number. Okay? I can give you examples. I can actually show you how to work out limits, but for right now, I just want you to think of how you can do it yourself, using all the math that you've learned so far. Okay, you can do it. I'm giving you the pieces, you have to put the puzzle together. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know.